Let's talk to a guy who's backing him, the Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. Governor, always good to have you.
It's always great to be with you, Neil. Good morning.
Thank you for taking the time. I know you have a busy schedule, and I'm sure Ted Cruz crisscrossing the country today in Georgia, Arkansas. He's going to be trying to pick up on what he hopes will be a win in Texas. Polls seem to indicate he will win. But does the size of that win matter, or is it a W is a W is a W? What do you think?
A win is a win is a win. In fact, Ted Cruz is the only person so far who's defeated Donald Trump in a race, and I think, quite frankly, he's the only one who can. You know, I was listening to Larry earlier in your show about the strategy for Marco Rubio. Look, Marco does not have a chance to win this nomination. He likely will not win a state between now and the 15th, and I think by the 15th he should decide to step out of the race, because for those, Neil, who want to take Trump out, the only way you take Trump out is for Ted Cruz to go head-to-head with Donald Trump. And when that happens, Ted Cruz will win some of those winner-take-all states, and I believe Ted Cruz will be the nominee. I don't see this strategy of Marco staying in, because the only thing that allows, Neil, is for Donald Trump potentially to win winner-take-all states with only 35 or 38% of the vote. Ted is going to do very well on Tuesday. I don't think Marco is going to pick up many delegates, and I think it should be a two-man race.
The Rubio folks obviously disagree with that. Before I get to those other states, I do want to look what's at stake in Texas here. 155 delegates, but it might not be potentially as big a victory for your candidate as you hope, in that by Texas rules, given abortion voting and the like, he would be lucky to get half the delegates, maybe a little bit more. I know what you're saying about a win is a win, and you're quite right about that on a sort of psychological level. That would be, to quote the Donald, huge. But
huge.
Does he need to rack up a lot of delegates? This is, after all, about delegates. And by the way, the Rubio people say after Super Tuesday, even if they don't win one of those states, they will leave Super Tuesday with more delegates than your guy. What do you say?
I don't play the expectation game, Neil, but I'll say this. I think Ted's going to have a very good Tuesday, and I think there will be a gap, and I really think the two men at the top of the delegates will be Donald and Ted. I'm not sure who will be on top.
Then what do you make of this Christie endorsement of Ted Trump? Did that move the needle a little bit after the debate?
No, it surely doesn't impress anyone in Texas or the South, I don't think. And Chris Christie, it looks like he's maybe trying to position himself to be Attorney General if Donald should win the nomination. I think that's what it's all about.
Well, he might be aiming higher. He might be aiming for VP, right?
I'm not sure what he's aiming for, but I know this, that there's only one candidate, Neil, who can beat Donald Trump head-to-head, and that is Ted Cruz. The longer Carson and Kasich and Rubio stay in this game, and none of the three have a pathway. They just simply don't. They're nice people. I'm being respectful of them, but they don't have a pathway. And the longer they stay in, all they do is assure Donald Trump of doing better than he should. So I think Texas will be loyal to their favorite son. I think Ted will do well across the other states, and I hope Rubio on Wednesday morning, if he goes over for the day, decides to step aside. That would be the right thing for the party.
All right. Well, I wouldn't hold my breath on that, but you never know. All right, Governor, thank you very, very much. Texas
Always a pleasure, Neil.
55 delegates. It's the biggest prize on Tuesday.